Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. We've seen mild weakness in the US markets with both Nasdaq and Dow being down by about 0.1 to almost about 0.2%. In fact, initially when the market opened up, they were down almost about 0.4%, but we had some kind of a late surge in those markets. And overall data points which are coming out from US have not been up to the mark. So the jobless claims also came in a little better than expectation, but overall the comfort factor is clearly missing in terms of the increment data points from the US economy. European markets too were down anywhere from 0.3 to almost about 0.6%, no major data points from the Eurozone. And when we look at the Asian markets today morning, Hang Seng is flat and Nikkei is down in fact 0.34%. Market is also watching out for some important data points from Japan in today's market. Talking about our own markets, we had a major fall in the index, which is Nifty and Sensex, which were down almost about 74 points and about 240 points respectively. Major carnage was witnessed in the oil and gas bag because of the deferment of the gas price hike, and all the stocks, ONGC, Reliance, HPBP, IOC and some of the other names were down anywhere from 3% to almost about 7%. Similarly, we had seen some kind of a weakness in the banking pack also, with SBI leading the pack. So overall sentiment has got affected because of this deferment news. Also, we had some kind of uncertainty building around the monsoon, and the Iraq thing is also not getting resolved that soon. So the sentiment is a bit cautious at this point of time, and we have an important event like budget coming up in July. Though the rollovers have been a little better than the average for this particular series, particularly for the Nifty, which were at about 70% odd against the average of about 60%. So on that note, let me invite Sadhana to take us through important F&O cues and ideas that we can have from the F&O side.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. Yesterday being an expiry day, markets started the session on a weaker note, and initial number of trades, markets continued to trade in a narrow range. But in later part of the day, we have seen that selling was witnessed in many of the blue chip counters such as Reliance Industries, ONGC, DLF, and due to which Nifty has broken its psychological level of 7,500 and June series settled at 7,493 odd levels. If we talk about the June series activity, Nifty has risen about 3.56%, which is approximately 258 points. And Nifty July futures started the series with 1.47 crore shares in open interest versus 1.60 in last month. And cost of clearing also increased by approximately 12% from 5.14 to 5.16. And if we talk about Nifty futures premium, July futures premium started with 41 points versus 38. On the options front, PCR is decreased from 0.86 to 0.73, but it is quite good compared to last series. Last series started with 0.68 and this month started with 0.73. Yesterday, India VIX, which is down by approximately 300 basis points from 18.31 to 17.70. If we talk about rollover activity, Nifty rollover activity is quite good compared to last month. Now rollover stands at 71.39% versus 59.70%. Market-wide rollover activity is flat, which stands at 83.99% versus 82.50%. So we have seen that compared to stocks, Nifty has performed very well. If we talk about sector-wise rollover activity, cement sector, infrastructure sector, media sector were the best performers. Like if we talk about the cement sector, like India Cement, Ambuja Cement, they were the good performers. Infrastructure, IRB Infra, GMR Infra, they were the good performers. And in media, they were like Z Telefilm, Sun TV, they were the good performers. If we talk about weak rollover activity, was seen in auto, like Hero MotoCorp, Bajaj Auto, Mahindra & Mahindra, they were the losers in auto sector, and telecom also were the weak performer. In telecom, if we talk about Bharti Airtel, Idea, they were they have witnessed very poor activity in June series. On the options metrics, currently 8,000 call options stands with good number of shares in open interest, started with 45 lakhs followed by 7,623 lakhs, then 7,700 started with 22.8 lakhs. On the put option, we have seen that 7,000 stands with good number of shares in open interest, followed by 7,200 with 26 lakhs and 7,300 with 25 lakhs. So overall options activity, if we talk about, it is quite good, and which is widely scattered. 7,000 put option stands with good number of shares, and 8,000 call option also stands with good number of shares. Ahead of union budget and like many events in the June series, we have seen that option activity is quite widely scattered. There is no security in ban period today, and yesterday FIs were net buyers of 153 crores in DEX futures. They were net buyers of 685 crores in DEX options. They were net sellers of 1,312 crore in stock futures, and they were net buyers of 397 crore in stock options. Our monthly straddle breaking point is 7187 on lower side, and higher range would be 7814. Singapore Nifty is up by 9 points, which is at 7540. So we may see marginal flattish to positive start in Nifty futures today. That's it from derivatives. Thank you.
Friends, now let me take you through the Sharekhan pre-market action, starting with actionable ideas for today. First of all, in Backseat we have a positive news, as after a long spell of regulatory struggle, finally Backseat would launch the first generic version of the Novartis Daiwan, which will also have an exclusivity of about 180 days for the company. So one can go long on Backseat with the stop loss of 464 and a target of about 489 to about 496. Reliance Capital, as there are reports that the Japanese financial services company Sumitomo Mitsui could pick up about 10% stake in the company for about 2,400 crore, which would basically value the company at about 24,000 crore. And also there are reports that the company might be doing a QIP to the tune of about 1,500 crore. So this would have some kind of positive reaction for the Reliance Capital stock. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 612 and a target of about 643 to about 655. Cipla, again we have some positive news, as the South Africa has awarded Cipla Metro a 345 million rand share in the national respiratory tender. So one can go long on Cipla with a stop loss of 417 and a target of about 439 to about 447. And here is the list for people who want to day trade. So stocks with positive bias are Tech Mahindra, Lupin and Biocon, and stocks with negative bias are Adani Power, Tata Global, Coal India and Jindal Steel. In other news, Accenture reported Q3 earnings, and the numbers were better than market expectations, and the growth was particularly good in the consulting and outsourcing space, but the company has revised mildly downwards its earnings forecast, so that there was a bit of a negative development on that front. And HDFC Bank has received the shareholders approval for a hike in the FI cap to about 74%, but the FIPB approval is still pending. And in other news, United Phosphorus has filed a petition against the Gujarat Gas, saying that they have abused their market dominance and they have indulged in restrictive and unfair trade practices. So a bit of a negative development for Gujarat Gas coming in from UPL. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great weekend and see you on Monday morning.